This is it. The greatest idea of your life has just come to you. Which is crazy, because you weren't even trying to come up with any ideas. You were just doing boring everyday stuff. But there'll be nothing boring about your future, because this inspired idea is about to change everything for you. You really need to write this down, but you are in the middle of something here, so you'll just have to do it later. This idea is so good, there's no way you're forgetting it. Okay, time to really get into this idea. It took you some time to prepare, but now you're ready to sit down and get all your amazing thoughts down on paper. You can't seem to think of all the details right now. You were sure there was way more to it than this. When you were thinking about it earlier, it felt like the pages had pretty much write themselves. But now, nothing's coming to mind. You know, now that you think about it, the whole idea doesn't seem so great anymore. But you felt so inspired half an hour ago. Why can't you recapture that feeling? This is a situation that we've all been in before. Your idea might have been for a book, movie or video game you'd like to create one day, something new you can do with your time, or a new way of seeing things that you hadn't thought of before. Whatever it is, when you first think of it, it feels as though it'll be the easiest thing in the world to turn it into a fully realized action plan. But when some time passes, the details start to get hazy. It's not as if it's so extreme that you'll just instantly forget everything you were thinking about, as though it never happened. It's more that the inspired state of mind you were in when you first thought of the idea, that would have made expanding on it feel effortless and enjoyable. That might not come around again so easily once you let it pass. Inspiration is a temporary state, a brief moment that strikes like a bolt of lightning. So in this video, I'm going to go through the strategies for making the most of your inspiration whenever it strikes you. The reason we waste our inspiration so often is that we rarely get inspired when we're in a convenient place to write everything down. This is because of the mechanisms our brains use to generate ideas. In Chris Bailey's book, Hyperfocus, he says inspiration occurs in a mental state called scatterfocus. When you're really intensely focused on doing something, you typically only think about that one thing. But when you're doing nothing, or doing something really easy that doesn't require much of your attention, your mind is free to wander. When this happens, your brain switches into its default network, which encompasses the entire brain and allows scattered ideas from far-flung regions of your mind to interact with each other. The way scatterfocus works means ideas will come to you when you're least expecting them. You're far more likely to have your best ideas when you're going for a walk or doing household chores than you are when you're sitting down with a notepad trying to think of things. This works against you being able to make the most of your ideas, because your best ones will come to you when you're not in a great position to record them. But there is a method you can use to make sure you're always in a good position to record your ideas. It's called quick capture, and the idea is that you need to remove all the friction involved in recording things and make it as instantaneous as possible. This means a notebook should always be left open on your desk. Note-taking software should be left minimized on your computer screen, and the Notes app should be on the home screen of your phone. This alone will make it pretty easy to always record your ideas, but I like to take things one step further than this, and just speak the ideas directly into my phone. I do this every time I think of something remotely interesting, and I don't really care how ridiculous I might look talking to my phone in the middle of the street. Remembering stuff is worth it. There's lots of audio recording apps out there, but I like to use one called Google Keep. My favourite thing about it is that it actually transcribes what you say into text, and it does a surprisingly good job of it. You can also easily view these notes on your PC and move them into other programs later. It's free, and if you're here on YouTube then you already have a Google account, so there's nothing new to sign up for. Audio recordings are really great for situations where you can't really stop to write things down. And they're usually faster than trying to type quickly on a software keyboard, so you can spend less time recording thoughts and more time actually thinking them during your window of enlightened inspiration. The final point about quick capturing ideas is that you shouldn't immediately try to categorize them into folders, since this would go against the entire idea of them being quick. Instead, just have all the new information go into the same inbox and sort through it later. This way, your notes don't eventually turn into a horrifying, unmanageable mess that you can't even bear to look at because the task of sorting through them is so daunting. Have a set time of the day or day of the week where you sort through your notes so it's easier to get started using them. You could divide them by topic or by the type of thoughts they represent. So you could have one category for truly wild ambitions, one for those interesting shower thought type insights, and one for sensible practical matters. This way, your best ideas will always be accessible to you, instead of getting lost in the murky depths of either your mind or your notes. Thanks for watching, guys. If you like this video, then click like to show YouTube what's up. Subscribe to see more videos like this, and have an amazing week.